Hello, good morning. Mga katribu, it's Wednesday again and welcome to another episode of Straight Talk where we discuss the most pressing issues of the day. This is Chito, Lozada.
And I'm Terry Montelibano. We're coming to you live on Daily Tribune's Facebook page and on Tribune Now's YouTube channel from our studio here in Makati.
So today we have the honor of having a remarkable guest to plays a pivotal role in promoting our beautiful country. Please welcome Tourism Secretary Christina Garcia Frasco.
Welcome to the show, Secretary.
Thank you.
And thank you for sparing us, for honoring us with your presence today.
Yeah, we know,
I know
that
you're
you're
very busy public servant, and it's our honor to have you.
Thank you. I'm very happy to be here.
Thank you, Mom. Okay. So, well, as I said, we were talking previously, and maybe if you could just, for starters, we don't want to keep you we don't want to keep you more than we should. But maybe you could just give us, in a nutshell, the more important achievements that the Department of Tourism has achieved since maybe you came in 2022.
Yes.
So far, what are the main? What would you want to share with us?
Yes. Well, first of all, thank you for the opportunity to be here.
Our pleasure, Mom.
And to all the watchers and listeners of the show, mayong buntag kaninyong tanan and love the Philippines. 2023 was a phenomenal year for Philippine tourism, as we saw an 8.6 contribution to our gross domestic product and the highest ever growth rate as recorded by the Philippine Statistics Authority, with over 3.36 trillion pesos coming into our economy in terms of international and domestic tourism spending by our visitors. We have also seen that tourism has played a pivotal role in terms of uplifting the lives of our fellow Filipinos, with 6.21 million Filipinos employed in 2023 in tourism, accounting for nearly 13% of the entire national tourism employment rate.
Terrific.
Yes, and so we've seen this golden era of tourism present itself under our President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., whose vision it is for the Philippines to be transformed into a tourism powerhouse in Asia. And that requires, of course, a lot of developmental work as far as strengthening the foundation of tourism. And so one of the very first things that we did was to do a due diligence on the developmental pillars of tourism in the country, as well as to do a comparative analysis of our performance vis-a-vis our ASEAN neighbors, not just in terms of physical arrivals, but importantly, in terms of our facilities, our infrastructure, our accessibility, our connectivity. With that, the National Tourism Development Plan from 2023 to 2028 was crafted and presented for the President's approval, which identifies 7 main objectives, seeking to address these developmental pillars in tourism. First of which is infrastructure. From roads to bridges to airports to seaports, all of these hard infrastructure play a critical component of Philippine tourism's success. With that, we forged convergences with our fellow government agencies, chiefly the Department of Public Works and Highways. As a result of which, in the President's administration, at least 531 kilometers of tourism roads have been rehabilitated and constructed. And we have strongly lobbied for more investments in tourism infrastructure, resulting in around 96.6 billion in infrastructure spending by government in 2023. We have also sought to encourage tourism investments, understanding that an increase in our accommodation sector as well as in our tourism facilities will elevate our global competitiveness. With that, we've seen tourism investments balloon to 500 billion pesos in 2023, as we have our Philippine hotel infrastructure plan that seeks to increase the number of rooms of the country to make it competitive with our ASEAN neighbors. We've also collaborated with the Department of Transportation as far as increasing connectivity and accessibility to the country. You see, the unique challenge that the Philippines has vis-a-vis its ASEAN neighbors is that we are an archipelagic nation that is accessible only by air unless you take a cruise. And so the critical component of improving the Philippine tourism landscape is really to increase the number of airports, to expand our airports and improve the same, as well as to increase connectivity by way of accessibility through international flights and domestic flights. And through our collaboration with the Department of Transportation, we have seen very promising recovery in terms of international flights coming in and recovery of our international seats, as well as the expansion of domestic flights and direct flights from abroad. We also see the necessity of improving our seaports, especially that the Philippines is a beloved cruise destination in Asia, being Asia's leading cruise destination for 2023.
Really?
Yes.
We have achieved that status. Huh?
Correct.
Fantastic.
And so with our collaboration with the Department of Transportation, we are pleased to note that expansion and rehabilitation projects are now in place for several ports in the country, and there are forthcoming cruise ports under the Philippine Ports Authority. We also have a collaboration with the Department of Information Communications Technology to improve Wi-Fi connectivity to our destinations. And what rounds this all up as far as infrastructure is concerned is our President's directive to improve the overall tourist experience. One of which is the availability of basic amenities such as restrooms.
Yes.
According to
I
a
think
survey,
it's general agreement that that's really needed.
exactly. I mean, you cannot get from one destination to the next without having to use the restroom.
Correct. Yes.
And so we tapped our infrastructure arm, the TIEZA, to begin construction.
TIEZA is tourism infrastructure.
Yes, TIEZA is our Tourism Infrastructure Enterprise Zone Authority, which is an attached agency of the Department of Tourism.
Okay. Separate from the TPB.
Correct, which is also our attached agency.
Yes.
So we began construction on tourist rest areas all over the country, from Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, that now have information centers, restrooms with showers,
Wow.
Pasalubong
Showers,
Center, yes,
Fantastic.
that help
These are free.
Yes, these are absolutely free for the public. They're run by the local government unit who have partnered with us, and they provide opportunities as well for the communities that they serve to sell local products.
Oh, your pasalubong.
Correct.
So there's a pasalubong area.
Yes, there's a
Fantastic.
Pasalubong Center, an information center, as well as a lounge with a cafe for
Terrific.
our
Wow.
tourists. Yes, our hope is that through our efforts to improve the overall tourist experience, that our tourists will stay longer, spend more,
Yes.
and come back for more.
That's brilliant. Wait, why did the past secretaries ever never thought about that? I'm sorry. But I mean, you see, it's so basic that sometimes you miss it, but it's so essential. Okay.
That's true.
So I would imagine it's very well received. The response has been well,
It
has
has
been very
been very, very well received by our local destinations, our local communities, and local government units. So much so that from the 10 that we have constructed for 2023, we are now looking to add at least 22 more.
Wow, fantastic. This year.
Throughout
Yes,
the country.
for
2024.
2024, and additional ones for 2025 for the duration of our President's administration until 2028.
That's great. Well, maybe know where these areas are. What are the sites that the first batch have been
Yes.
put up, and
Yes.
where it would be put up in this year and in
Yes.
2025?
Well, first of all, we're proud to say that as a manifestation of our President's commitment to fully open up Mindanao to tourism, the very
Mindanao.
first tourist rest area was actually constructed and inaugurated in Mindanao, specifically in Manolo Fortich in Bukidnon.
Yeah.
Of course, which is home to the longest double zip line in Southeast Asia,
Wow,
the
fantastic.
Dahilayan
yeah.
Mountain Resort. We have also constructed in Samal Island.
Samal in Davao.
Davao, yes. And similarly, we've constructed tourist rest areas in various places in Cebu, from the north to the south, as well as in Bohol.
Bohol also.
And
yeah.
we've also already inaugurated a tourist rest area in Rojas, Palawan, which is on the way to Coron and El Nido.
Also strategic.
Correct. And we have forthcoming inauguration for the tourist rest area in Baguio. And
In
for
Baguio,
the
yes.
forthcoming tourist rest areas, we will be constructing two as far north as Batanes.
Batanes.
Yes.
Fantastic.
As far south as Sulu and Tawi-Tawi.
Wow.
As far east as Eastern Samar. And as far west as Brooks Point in Palawan.
Fantastic.
And several ones in between that include Iloilo, Antique,
Antique, yeah. Oh.
General Luna in Siargao, and several other areas in North Luzon as well.
Great, fantastic.
What are the considerations for you to set up these tourism centers?
Yes. Well,
What was the criteria
Yeah,
and,
what
that you adopted, that you
Yes.
followed in,
yes.
in putting up, in designing a site for the TRAs?
The identification of the site is done in coordination with our regional offices.
I see.
That is able to give us data as far as the destinations in the area, the distance between these destinations, and the presence or absence of public amenities,
Yes,
specifically restrooms. We also take into consideration the offerings of the area as far as the or rather, including the arrivals, as well as the potential of the destination. The tourist rest areas seek to serve destinations that are already well known, as well as seek to give opportunities to emerging destinations.
Emerging ones. Yes.
For that is one of the objectives of the National Tourism Development Plan. That is the equalization of tourism development and promotion.
Okay.
In that we provide equal opportunities for promotion and development to these areas. Another flagship project of the Marcos administration that focuses on infrastructure is the Tourism Champions Challenge.
Tourism
Tourism Champions,
Champions
Challenge.
Maybe know what
Yes.
it is. No?
So the Tourism Champions Challenge is an initiative spearheaded by the Department of Tourism in partnership with TIEZA, our infrastructure arm,
Yes.
where we invited local government units from all over the country to present tourism infrastructure proposals that are resilient, inclusive, as well as sustainable. And we received a total of 98 proposals
Okay.
from cities
over the
and,
country.
Correct, from cities and municipalities. These proposals of which were then passed through expert advice by the private sector, as well as guidance by our regional offices.
Yes.
And from the 98 proposals, it was shortlisted to 15.
Okay.
5 for Luzon, 5 for Visayas, and 5 for Mindanao. The result of the Tourism Champions Challenge was the presentation of tourism infrastructure proposals that are truly excellent and very creative.
Can you cite some examples?
Yes, one of the winners of the Tourism Champions Challenge include the Baguio Skyport.
Baguio Skyport.
Yes, it's
What
going to
does
be
that
the first skyport in the Philippines from which you will descend. Yes.
You excited?
Yes, yes. I'm very excited about this
So,
project
yeah, so,
because
I mean,
it's
what
a,
is sorry.
Kind of,
it's a flagship project of the administration. And
Very new, very
another one that we're very proud of is the one in Isabela in Basilan.
Isabela in Basilan.
Yes.
What infrastructure?
They
What tourism infrastructure facility is this one?
Yeah, so it is a community tourism infrastructure project that supports the local government unit's efforts to really make sure that Isabela City de Basilan is given an opportunity to shine in terms of Mindanao tourism. And we've also awarded in other places in Mindanao, including in Davao, which includes the Kadayawan Park, which hosts their 11 tribes.
Yes.
And so the Tourism Champions Challenge saw our president award 255 million
Okay, wow.
in financial assistance to our local government units to ensure that our tourists are able to see, feel, and experience an improved tourism landscape for the country.
So this is the seed. I would imagine this is the seed money, to start this project.
Yes.
How much do we need? Do we have enough? And as I was asking earlier, is there an effort to encourage the private sector to participate? Because after all, they could also
is important.
they could also
Private
benefit from
sector.
this, no?
Ma'am, before you answer that question,
We have a commercial break.
we have to take a quick commercial break.
I think we should have a.
And this break is brought to you by Angkas, Beat the Traffic, Bayad Center, hashtag Bigger Better Younger Bayad, and you can buy it all. Meralco, ang liwanag ng bukas. SM, we've got it all for you. Smart, live more today. Union Bank, it starts with you.
Tune in to Daily Tribune's show aimed at addressing the needs and problems of our OFWs from different corners of the globe. Hear about their plights and success stories every Tuesday and Thursday, 3 p.m. only on Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now on YouTube.
Straight Talk dives deep into present issues of leadership, politics, business, and more. Engage in insightful conversations with industry shakers, government leaders, and trailblazers every Wednesday at 10 a.m. only here on Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now in YouTube.
So we're back here with Secretary Frasco in
Very,
State
very interesting
Yeah.
subject that we're talking about. That we were talking just before the break.
Yeah, the Mayor's Challenge.
Yes. You said that you had a model for that,
Uh,
for the Tourism Champions Challenge.
how does this idea develop in
Yes, the idea of the Tourism Champions Challenge came from my experience when I was mayor of Liloan in the province of Cebu. I received an invitation to join the Bloomberg Mayor's Challenge.
Bloomberg.
That
Can you
was
tell us what- yeah.
originated by Mayor Bloomberg
New
of
York City.
New York,
Yes.
which challenges cities and municipalities from all over the world to present proposals that will improve the lives of their constituencies in several selected sectors. And from my end, as Mayor of Liloan, my priority, of course, included community development and strengthening the foundation of our smallest units called the Puroks. So we made a proposal. Unfortunately, we were beaten out by Butuan
whom?
City at the
That's
time.
Why
Interesting.
Butuan? What did
But
Butuan
you
do?
know, they're so admirable. Butuan City, I've met the mayor in terms of their sustainable tourism initiatives. And there were other admirable initiatives as well at the time. I remember there was from the City of Manila and other local government units. So with that, our team studied this Bloomberg Mayor's Challenge and then came up with our own Tourism Champions Challenge, which has its own criteria as far as qualification is concerned. But what we really made sure to do for the TCC, as we call it, is that we tap the private sector in terms of seeking their expertise and guidance as far as the practicability of the infrastructure, the profitability of the infrastructure, and its ability to build resilience, sustainability, and income for the communities. And so we're excited to launch the second iteration
Second
of
already.
the TCC very soon.
So what kind of projects in particular would qualify would qualify as as a subject, or in this season?
Challenge.
Yes. Well, ideally, it is hard infrastructure.
Hard infrastructure,
Yes,
roads,
whether it concerns a community center in a
Okay,
mangrove
okay.
area
Yes,
where you can
yes.
view the mangroves without harming the same,
Oh,
Yes.
whether it would provide world-class facilities for adventure sports or
Yes, yes.
adventure
Okay.
tourism.
Yeah.
It can also include the improvement of existing facilities as far as the heritage and culture of the local government units,
Yes.
or it can be a tourism infrastructure that can help the community-based tourism organizations, as that is one of the priorities
I
of
see,
the
I see,
DOT
okay.
in terms of spreading economic wealth by giving assistance to our CBTOs.
Right, that's
In,
great.
in the
Okay.
first edition, who won? What community won?
The winners are local government units. So there were 5 from Luzon, 5 from Visayas, and 5 from Mindanao. But
These
we
were
hope to be able
winners.
to
These,
increase.
these were winners.
Yes, yes. They were ranked
The
from
first
first to fifth. And we hope to be able to expand that number for the second iteration because we've had a lot of
Great.
requests.
Yes,
Yeah.
I can just imagine. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Is this the Baguio infrastructure that won?
Baguio, Skyport, yes.
Skyport, yeah.
They won first in Luzon.
What's a Skyport? What do you mean when you say Skyport?
It actually is a facility that services paragliding
Oh, paragliders.
activities, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh,
yes.
In Baguio,
Baguio,
Yeah,
in
because,
Nueva
well,
Vizcaya.
they have cliffs. I mean, from which you can jump on or something.
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah.
Okay.
There. And then apart from, we have also sought to ensure that our digital infrastructure is also improved. And so we have partnered with the Tourism Promotions Board to enhance the Travel Philippines mobile application.
Okay. Yes.
So even if you're not physically in the Philippines,
we
you'll
have
have
it here.
Yes, you'll have an opportunity.
I think you can download the app now.
Correct.
Fantastic. So at the flick of a hand, of a finger, you can choose. You can choose where to go and what to know. You can know all about the Philippines.
That's true. It
Fantastic.
has
Okay.
sought to be as inclusive as possible in that it covers information about all the regions in the Philippines, including BARM.
Wow.
And it
Including
seeks
BARM, huh?
to help our tourism stakeholders by providing information about our travel agencies, our tour guides, as well as our tour operators in the area that
Comprehensive, huh?
you as a tourist can contact if you wish to visit.
Congratulations. I think is it novel? I mean, is it the first time that this kind of app, this kind of tourism app was ever created?
The app was actually existing when
it was
the administration started, but what we've done is to expand
it.
the coverage of the
I
app
see.
and
Okay.
provide accessibility directly to our local tourism stakeholders.
Does it tell a tourist also? And they say, I want to go to Agusan or something. Does it tell you which sites are safe and other advisories and all that?
Well, it provides you
Security
with
advisory or
activities and experiences that you're able to have in a particular region, province, city, or municipality. And we are hopeful that by way of the Travel Philippines app, it can expand markets for
Yes.
our tourism stakeholders globally. On the other hand, we have also launched the very first tourist assistance call center.
Tourist Assistance Call Center.
Yes,
How does this work?
you simply have to dial 151 tour or
151 tour.
Yes, or 151-8687. If you have any query about a tourism destination or whether you are seeking assistance wherever you may be in the Philippines, because our tourist assistance call center is manned 24/7 by professionally trained call center agents with the guidance of the Department of Tourism and in collaboration with our regional offices. You see, one of the concerns that tourists normally have is that when they are visiting a destination for the first time or when they encounter issues in a destination, they don't know who to call,
Correct.
That's true.
Yes.
Yes.
right? You don't know what number. And so with this, we hope to be able to provide a level of safety, comfort, and convenience to our tourists, knowing that there is assistance that can come to you by way of accessing this assistance call
You see,
center.
I'm a foreigner. I'm new to Cebu, and I don't know where to stay. Would
Yes.
that 151, we're calling 151 tour, would they be able to help me?
Yes,
Help me decide where to go and all that?
yes,
Or where to
because
stay
our
and
call
all that?
center agents have also been versed
Fantastic,
in
congratulations.
the offerings.
That's
Yes,
a great, great
Of the
assistance.
areas.
Fantastic.
yes.
Thank you.
And for actual physical emergencies, we have also recently inked a memorandum of agreement with the Department of Health as well as TIAZA, again, our infrastructure arm, for the construction of tourist first aid facilities
Wow.
First
all
aid.
over the country.
All over the country.
As you may know, and as you may have read over and over, we have issues of, let's say, a tourist getting a gash while he is at the beach, but having a hospital 3 hours away. Or
Boracay.
being stung by a jellyfish, for one, and not having immediate assistance.
Yeah,
So we find that being able to provide professional emergency care and frontline services is absolutely critical to improving the tourist experience. So with this collaboration, we will be building tourist first aid facilities in at least 5 destinations to start.
Which destinations are these?
Yes, this include La Union, which is of
Union,
course very
yes,
popular
yeah,
for
okay,
surfing,
Very popular, yeah.
as well as Siargao.
Siargao,
Siargao,
yes.
Yes, as many injuries can come from this activity, including as well Puerto Galera,
Particularly, yeah.
Palawan, and we're also building one in Panglao in Bohol.
None for Boracay?
Oh, we're building one in Boracay as well.
Yeah, are you going to include Boracay?
Yes, yes,
Oh,
yes.
that's
We
very
are
welcome.
including tourist first aid for Boracay, and we have already broken ground on a hyperbaric chamber for Boracay, which seeks to service divers who may
Divers,
be in
yes.
distress subsequent to
Fantastic.
diving
Yeah,
activity.
when you dive fast and then you get bends or something.
That's the way you get that.
Wow. You should also do one siguro in Puerto Galera, no? I mean the dive sites.
We're also putting up a
And
hyperbaric
Bohol
chamber
also.
in Puerto
Yeah,
Galera.
Bohol, Panglao.
Yes.
Panglao is in Bohol, right? Yes.
Panglao is in Bohol.
How do they,
God.
how would they, for instance, I'm a tourist, how do I find this first aid
151
centers?
tours.
Yes.
Give us a 151
that.
Yes.
You can call
Pwede,
5151.
tatawag ka sa 151 tour. Or, we are also seeking to make it situated in densely populated tourist areas. So it's readily visible. And in the stretches where the physical facility is inaccessible, we are putting tourist first aid booths.
Manned by the local government.
The tourist first aid booths is not physically manned in a sense that you, as an ordinary person who's not a medical personnel, can access the booth as it has first aid equipment. It has AED for cardiac arrest. It has a portable stretcher, and it also has an emergency communication device that can directly connect you to the command center of the local government unit or the
So
DOH.
these booths are manned by somebody. I mean, there's somebody there who can help you or can assist you? Or
The
what?
idea is that it is a standalone booth, like an ATM of sorts.
Okay.
No? And then if you need assistance, then you can
So
call.
you just go there. You go there, and then everything, all the basic needs all the basic things that you need to help you are there.
Correct,
Are
for the
available.
booth, yeah.
Okay.
But for the facility, the physical tourist first aid facility, it is manned by medical personnel provided by the Department of Health. And on the second floor, it also has a lifeguard station and a viewing deck.
That's very welcome. I mean, especially, I'm very familiar with Boracay. I lived there during the pandemic. I lived there for about over a year. And, there are none. I mean, it's just a popular tourist destination, but still, God, if something happens to you, you have to go all the way. You have to go ride a motorized outrigger to bring you to the mainland. I mean, by the time if you have an asthma attack, what will happen to you? You'll be dead by the time you get there. So I think that's really welcome. this project, this particular
Thank you.
project.
Thank you.
And do you plan more? There are
Yes.
5 right now, right?
Yes. We have initially earmarked funding for 5, and we are definitely expanding the project to other areas.
Yes. Before we might be because we have so much to cover, but we were talking about the participation of the Philippines in the World Expo in Tokyo
Yes.
in
Yeah.
2025, right? Could you
Correct.
say something
This is
about it?
next
Because I
year.
think you have a major participation.
Yes. So the Philippines is participating in the World Expo Osaka 2025 in
month is
Kansai,
this?
Japan.
What month is this?
The expo opens in April,
April.
and we hope to be able to have a Philippine National Day by June of next year. The President issued an administrative order that identified the government agencies that would compose of the Philippine Organizing Committee. And this includes the Department of Tourism as the Commissioner General, and we have designated the Tourism Promotions Board as the Secretary General. It also includes other government agencies, including the Department of Trade and Industry, the DOST, and other NGAs. And through collaboration as well with the private sector, we have now launched the design concept for the Philippine Pavilion.
Who's the architect of the pavilion?
The architect is architect Carlo Calma.
Oh,
And
Carlo.
the theme is called Woven.
Carlo is very creative.
Woven, yes. It is an ode
I
to
can
our
imagine.
nature, culture, and community. And the idea is that we are giving opportunities to our artisans, local weaving communities, and community-based tourism organizations to be introduced to the world on a global scale.
Wow, fantastic.
Our president seeks for the Philippines to be reintroduced to the world from the lens of our heritage, our culture, and our long-standing traditions. The heart and soul of the Filipino, as they say.
Yes.
And through the Philippine Pavilion, which will highlight the work of our artisans, as well as provide interactive experiences using AI technology. We are hoping to be able to present the Philippines as a country that values culture, sustainability, and embraces technology and innovation.
That's terrific. I'm going to book a ticket to April 2025 to Osaka.
Please do. We'd be
This
so
is-
happy to invite you.
It's a fantastic, this is a fantastic project, and I think Filipinos should be excited to see that. No? Because the World Expo doesn't happen. The World Expo happens every how many years?
The last
It
one was
happens-
held in Dubai
When was
in
that? Yeah.
2021.
Like 4 years ago.
4 years as well.
Yes.
You were not yet. You were not yet. No, that was the old. That was the previous administration. No?
Correct. Yes, it was headed by the DTI at the time. I was still mayor, battling COVID
Did you
in my
go?
community in
2020.
2021.
2021's pandemic. How did you? How was your pandemic experience there?
Well, as with many other Filipinos, it was definitely a struggle, especially in terms of the economic losses and the loss of life, of course. And so the challenge for us, local chief executives, especially in Cebu, where tourism is the main driver of our economy, was to ensure that the losses were made up for by opening up the economy to tourism once again as soon as possible.
Okay. But then, I mean, for Cebu, I'm familiar with Cebu. The Osmanians were my friends. I don't know if you're, but because I used to cover politics also.
Yes.
So I knew Sani and Lito, and I knew Cebu from way back. It has always been very progressive. There's even a saying, when the entire country is in economic depression, Cebu alone stands. It remains profitable because you're really strategically located. You're in the midway between Mindanao and the Visayas and Luzon. So, I mean, fantastic. As I said earlier, a very, very good experience with Cebu.
Thank you.
And I'm
I
glad
think
that we have a tourism secretary who's from that area.
Salamat kayo.
okay.
That I really appreciate that. I think also apart from the strategic location of Cebu, as well as the existence of vital infrastructure, it's really the strength of spirit of the Cebuanos that have always come together, especially in times of crisis.
Yes.
Imagine this, we were still struggling with the pandemic when Typhoon Odette hit in December of 2021,
goodness.
which devastated
Hold on.
37 out of the 44 municipalities.
Well,
of
that was the
that
one that we
is,
struck, that struck Cebu, no?
Yes,
yeah.
2021.
Yes.
Correct. I was in Boracay. I had some Cebuano friends there.
yes. It was very, very difficult. We did not have electricity or internet, and even regular access to potable water for 2 months.
2 months.
Yes, and in my municipality, nearly 30,000 homes were devastated. So it really was a challenge, but we
Major
saw
crisis. Yeah.
Cebuanos come together and really rebuild, as Cebuanos often do.
Yes. That's nice to hear. Yeah. Yeah, I had some Cebuano friends who whose houses were totally damaged.
Yeah.
Not naman, I mean, but virtually damaged. Totally. Yes.
That's that.
Yeah.
So
Those are that, yeah.
we need to have
Again?
a commercial break again.
Okay.
So
Maybe in the
Yeah,
last,
rapid
in the third segment.
And this break is brought to you by Angkas, Beat the Traffic, Bayad Center, Hashtag Bigger Better Younger Bayad, and you can buy it all. Meralco, ang liwanag ng bukas. SM, we've got it all for you. Smart, live more today. Union Bank, it starts with you.
Tune in to Daily Tribune's show aimed at addressing the needs and problems of our OFWs from different corners of the globe. Hear about their plights and success stories every Tuesday and Thursday, 3 p.m. only on Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now on YouTube.
Straight Talk dives deep into pressing issues of leadership, politics, business, and more. Engage in insightful conversations with industry shakers, government leaders, and trailblazers every Wednesday at 10 a.m. only here on Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now on YouTube.
yeah, we're back, Ted, and we're still in straight talk with Secretary Frasco. So, Miss, Ma'am, can you tell us about how are we faring now in terms of the ASEAN? Like Thailand is still doing great in their tourism sector. So, how are you doing right now?
Well, the Philippines is continuing to elevate its global competitiveness in terms of tourism. We recognize our neighbors in the ASEAN as models for how we can further improve Philippine tourism. And we have, in fact, forged engagements with our ASEAN neighbors in terms of ensuring that we're able to get a share of their tourism arrivals as well.
Okay,
And it's very encouraging because of our collaboration in the ASEAN. We are united as far as our view to the future. The Philippines was chosen as the lead convener for the formation of the ASEAN Strategic Action Plan post-2028, if I'm not mistaken. And this required a survey among our ASEAN nations as far as the priorities for tourism, especially post-pandemic. And we have found commonalities among us, which then encourages us as far as our growth and development, now that we see them not just as our competitors, but as our collaborators. So we are all in agreement that we need to prioritize sustainable and responsible tourism, in that we don't merely measure tourism performance by the warm bodies that come in, but more importantly, by the visitor receipts that tourists are able to generate, of which the Philippines is doing very well, as we have already exceeded a 100% recovery compared to the 94% global average of recovery for visitor receipts.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Second is the prioritization of the development of digitalization in tourism. And then third, giving emphasis to the importance of culture and heritage, as well as focusing on gastronomy tourism. And so
Gastronomy tourism. That's a
we're
good
very
one.
happy that the Philippines has recently successfully hosted the United Nations Tourism Regional Forum on Gastronomy Tourism for Asia
Yes.
Pacific.
When was that, Mom?
It was held in the last week of June this year,
I didn't know about
attended by no less by the UN Tourism Secretary General.
that. Oh, really?
It was participated in by over 600 participants, with delegates coming from 43 countries.
What happened?
Well, the result of the Gastronomy Tourism Forum was engagements with chefs from all over the world, as
Really?
well as chefs from all over the country, and renowned chefs for the Philippines, and chiefly an introduction of Filipino food to a global audience.
Yes.
Through the Gastronomy Forum, we were able to pass the Cebu Call to Action on Gastronomy Tourism.
Cebu call to action.
Yes, Cebu Call to Action on Gastronomy Tourism, which provides policy guidance and framework on how our countries can successfully pursue gastronomy tourism initiatives that are sustainable, as well as resilient and inclusive. In addition to that, Cebu also hosted the UN Tourism Joint Conference meetings for East Asia and the Pacific and South Asia. Because for the very first time in over 2 decades, the Philippines was elected as Vice President of the General Assembly of UN Tourism, as well as Chairperson of the Commission for East Asia and the Pacific. And the result of that was a coming together of tourism ministers and leaders from the East Asia and the Pacific and South Asia region to discuss and agree amongst themselves as far as how we are going to continue to meet the challenges of tourism recovery and resurgence post-pandemic, as well as pursue advocacies on sustainable tourism and education tourism.
As ASEAN as a bloc. I remember there was a program for the entire ASEAN to promote tourism as one block.
Yes.
How would they promote that?
Yeah.
Yes.
So maybe
is it-
interchange or exchange of exchange of visitors. No?
Visitors.
I mean, how
Yes.
would
That,
it
well,
work?
the idea is to have several countries, one destination, in a sense, that you come to the ASEAN region and visit not just one country, but several countries.
And then you would have incentives for that. Tourists would
Well,
have-
chiefly, we are working with Thailand for the two-country, one-destination arrangement.
good.
we already have direct. No,
Yes, we do.
I was talking to the Thai ambassador, the Thai ambassador to the Philippines, and said something about direct flights or something.
Yes.
Was it?
We are heavily pursuing the continuation of the Bangkok-Cebu flights, especially that diving is a very popular
Yes,
tourism product, as well as English as a second language.
Oh, right.
And we are coordinating with our other ASEAN neighbors as well, as we're very interested in joining the initiative to obtain one visa and be able to visit several ASEAN countries.
But right now, do you need a visa to go to the ASEAN countries?
Within the ASEAN, no.
Within the ASEAN, we don't.
There's none.
We don't need a visa for the ASEAN.
For me, to go to another ASEAN nation, I don't need a visa. But for a foreign national,
Foreign national.
to come to one particular ASEAN destination, the convenience would be to just obtain one visa and be able to go around the ASEAN. But that, of course, requires a government-to-government discussion. Meanwhile, in the Philippines, we're very pleased that the President has announced the liberalization of visa policies through pursuing electronic visas, chiefly for the Indian market. And so that is something that we are aggressively pursuing in collaboration with the Bureau of Immigration as well as the Department of Foreign Affairs.
How many tourists did we have last year?
Last year, we were able to receive 5.45 million international visitors.
These are foreign visitors.
Over 90% were
90%.
foreigners, and the rest
90%.
were, yes.
What and of the 90%, what nationality was dominated?
Yes, our number one source market continues to be our friends from South Korea.
South
Oh.
Korea.
Yes,
Yeah.
and of course we have our visitors from the United States, China, Canada, Japan, Taiwan, Malaysia,
Yeah.
Singapore, and the like.
The Chinese used to be a big. They came in droves to the Philippines. So, is there any possibility that they would, in spite of our
Probably.
tension with well, at least that's no with government,
Yeah.
but governments. I mean, beyond governments, the people are it should be a different story, you know. But is there an effort that to draw back the Chinese to tourists?
Well, notwithstanding the presence of global and specific
Tensions, yeah.
geopolitical
Yeah.
challenges, the Department of Tourism continues its efforts to promote the Philippines in China, as we have 2 tourism attaches that we assign in this jurisdiction. We do recognize that the difficulty in obtaining visas
Yeah.
coming to the Philippines is a major challenge and continues to be.
Yeah, I
And so
know,
what
yeah.
we are doing to make up for the shortfall in the arrival of the Chinese market is really to look at our other best performing markets
Yes.
and to try to ensure that we have more arrivals from these markets, as well as to open up the Philippines to new markets, including India, as I've mentioned, as
India,
well as the GCC countries.
GCC being
We have the UAE.
UAE, yes.
Yes.
GCC.
And then, of course, other parts of the Middle East.
Yes.
We recently inked a memorandum of cooperation and tourism with Qatar
With
when
Qatar,
the
okay.
Emir visited the Philippines. And that seeks to open up the country to business events and MICE,
Yes.
as well as health and wellness tourism.
Yes,
We are also very excited to host the first International Health and Wellness Congress for the Philippines, where we will welcome major players and potential stakeholders and customers from the Middle East into the country. This is a result of our partnership with Dubai-based Agora Group International. Medical tourism, we foresee, will also vastly expand for the country, especially that we have world-class facilities.
Yes.
We have existing partnerships with St. Luke's as well as Medical City, and we are also in partnership with aesthetic providers as well as dental tourism providers.
When is this wellness? You saying something about wellness convention or a conference?
Yes, yes,
When-
it will
when
be
would
in
it
the
be
latter
held?
part of this year.
I see.
Yes. Also on the latter part of this year will be our hosting of the Sea Trade Cruise Global event, which
Cruise.
will which will
cruise, okay.
welcome cruise tourism leaders and experts from all over the world as
So-
we seek to elevate the Philippines cruise tourism portfolio.
Wow.
So there's a lot of interest being shown in the Philippines
Yeah.
as a tourism hub.
Yes, absolutely. No less than our president has endorsed the Department of Tourism's approach towards providing experiential tourism to our visitors, where we are not limiting ourselves to our natural offerings through nature and adventure, beach and leisure, but also expanding the tourism portfolio of the country to include culture, heritage, food,
Health.
the
Yes.
arts, health and wellness, golf tourism, even sports tourism, and of course farm tourism, as well as many other components of our tourism industry that have not yet been fully maximized, including dive tourism.
So in all, ma'am, what's the target this year for tourist arrivals?
In terms of physical arrivals, we're targeting 7.7 million
7.7.
international arrivals. But at the same time, we recognize the challenges that persist, especially in terms of arrivals from the Chinese market. So it's a moving target, I would say, taking into account the realities that we face. Even so, we are working as hard as we can to make sure that not only on the arrivals, but more importantly, on the visitor receipts,
Correct.
our economy continues to thrive through tourism.
Is there any particular country that that you are putting much focus on in terms of arrivals and all that?
Well, of course, we continue our very heavy promotions in terms of our top source markets in order that we will be able to increase tourist arrivals from these areas. And as I've mentioned, these include South Korea, the United States, Canada, Australia, Japan, and including Europe. In fact, this year we will once again be participating in the World Travel Market in the UK, in London specifically,
What month is this, Ma'am?
in November.
In November. Okay.
Yes, and we are continuing to work with our international aviation partners to increase accessibility from Europe to the country. Meanwhile, we are pleased that the connectivity from the United States has vastly improved with direct flights now accessible from San Francisco to Manila, and soon San Francisco, Tokyo to Cebu, and then Seattle to Manila.
Okay.
So in the first half, how many tourist arrivals did we have?
Well, as of today,
As of
we
today.
have now received over 3.6 million international
3.6 million.
visitors.
Okay.
So
halfway.
we're halfway through. So
You're happy to.
the
you're happy
target
to get
is
the target.
attainable. Do you believe that it will be attained by the end of the year?
We're hoping
Yeah.
to really be able to attain the target. At the same time, we are rolling up our sleeves
Yeah.
in terms of dealing with the challenges that confound us.
The other thing that I hear from tourists sometimes in the Philippines, or visitors coming to, is that we're so expensive in terms of travel.
Really?
Oh, parang
Very
mahal tayo.
expensive.
Yes.
I mean,
Actually, I had a meeting recently
like
with
if you go to Boracay, people would rather go to Hong Kong because Boracay is so expensive. I mean, I guess even Siargao now is getting to, and even Bohol is getting more expensive. I remember when I first went to Bohol, boy. I mean, beautiful place, no? But medyo mahal. Why is that so? Why can't we be in terms of our hotel rates or resorts rates? Ang mahal.
Actually, of course, that is a blanket statement in terms of couching the Philippines as a very expensive destination. When, in comparison with our ASEAN neighbors, data from the Philippine Hotel Owners Association would show that our average $100 per night is actually lower than the average
That's the average.
price of hotels in the ASEAN region.
Okay.
Nonetheless, we recognize that there are external inflationary pressures that dictate upon all the components of pricing.
Yes.
And so from our end, we are working very closely with FOA, the hotel owners, as far as strategically inviting in and continuing to entice tourism investment as far as increasing the number of rooms for the country.
Okay.
We have to understand that the availability of the rooms also dictates on the price.
Yes,
And
yes.
with a very robust domestic market as far as tourism is concerned,
Yes.
it is always in high demand. And so the idea is to increase our number of rooms to from its present over 221,000 to 440,000
good,
by
221,000, okay.
2028, as well as to increase the number of flights coming into the country, considering that at present the Philippines ranks 6th as far as the number of international flights and seats coming into
To Manila.
the Philippines.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Well, that's good to know. That's good
That's
to know.
significant since the secretary said that the domestic tourism is on the uptrend.
Oh, yeah, I think it has, ever since the pandemic, no?
Yes, actually, domestic tourism is very encouraging.
Yeah.
Yes.
As far
People
as
have been traveling. I mean, Filipinos have been traveling.
Yes,
Yeah,
Filipinos
other
have been
countries,
traveling. They've been taking advantage of the proximity of our award-winning and world-class and emerging destinations, and as well as the holidays that our president has declared in
That's
terms
important.
of long weekends, and of course the improved accessibility
So that's
to our
helped a lot.
destinations. Absolutely. In fact,
Tourism nowadays.
the Philippines is number one in terms of domestic tourism performance in the ASEAN. And of the 3.36 trillion in international and domestic tourism spending for the country, over 2 trillion of that is actually from domestic tourism.
Wow, that's terrific. Yeah.
So I continue to
Good to know.
encourage
That's
our
good
fellow
to know.
Filipinos to love the Philippines and to visit our local destinations.
We have good tourist facilities now. I mean, what did you call those, Mom?
our tourist rest areas.
Yes.
Tourist
Yes.
rest areas,
Yes.
TRAs, and
We have a great tourism secretary, so
Yeah,
that
my
compliments
goodness.
it all.
Salamat in town.
what you have done so much. Oh, I guess
Yeah.
it would be very hard to replace you. I think. So we would like to imagine that we would like to entertain the possibility that you would still be around for tourism.
Well, I serve at the pleasure of our president, and we are very encouraged by his prioritization of tourism. We have a president who recognizes the enormous power of tourism to unite and to uplift the lives of our fellow Filipinos. And that is why he has engaged the entire nation to support the Philippine tourism industry. And we're seeing this in the numbers, especially as far as visitor receipts is concerned.
No, but less politics, more tourists.
That's true.
More tourism.
So can we have your parting words, Mr. Ma'am?
Yes.
Yes. Well, first of all, once again, I thank you for
thank
this
you.
opportunity to have this exchange of ideas and to allow our fellow Filipinos to receive the good news that tourism is performing very well for the country and that it is providing livelihood and employment to millions of Filipinos.
It's great to hear. Yeah.
What I would like to convey to our fellow Filipinos as well as tourists from around the world is that engaging in tourism is not merely for oneself, but that it benefits communities.
So many. Yeah.
It's true.
When you book a flight, when you visit the destination, when you stay in your hotel, there are a multitude of people that benefit from that.
Correct,
From
yes.
our local farmers, to our local suppliers, to our transport operators, to our pasalubong makers, to our tour guides. And so I'm hopeful that with continued availment of our tourism offerings across our many destinations in the country, as well as the continued campaign of the Philippines for the world to love the Philippines, that we will receive more tourists into the country and that we can continue to contribute greatly to the economy of our nation. So, daghan kaayong salamat.
Thank you also.
Higayon ninyong gihatag.
There's a lot to love
Thank you.
about the Philippines, and I think the world should know that.
That is true.
And it's true public servants like you who do a lot, to promote the country. That we're getting the numbers. We're getting the numbers that we are, that we hope to get, no. And I hope that, well, as I said, thank you very much for your time, Mom, and thank you for sharing what tourism is doing for the country.
Thank you. Salamat kayo. Love the Philippines.
Love the Philippines.
That was an encouraging insight into the tourism industry from the secretary here. So, thank you
very
so much for our katribu and our guest, Tourism Secretary Christina
Frasco.
Garcia Frasco, for sharing the valuable insight on the tourism industry.
If you enjoyed today's discussion, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channels for more engaging content.
So join us again next Wednesday as we continue to tackle the issues that matters for the day.
Until then, stay informed and stay inspired. And today we had a very inspiring guest and a very inspiring
Salamat.
topic.
I would say that.
Discussed tourism. And this is Teddy Montelibano.
And this is Chito Lozada. Until next time.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Salamat kayo. Thank you.
This public service announcement is brought to you by Meralco.
Magandang araw mga kaliwanag at gayon din sa ating mga katribo. Formal lang inanunsyo ng Pag-asa na tapos na ang El Niño season sa bansa. Nagsisimula na rin ang sunod-sunod na pag-ulan sa maraming bahagi ng Pilipinas kasama ng Metro Manila, kaya inaasahan ng ahensya na pagdating ng Hulyo ay maaring magsimula na rin ang La Niña. Kami po sa Meralco ay nakahanda na sa mga maaring maging epekto ng tag-ulan. Patuloy ang koordinasyon ng kumpanya sa Department of Energy, Energy Regulatory Commission at iba pang ahensya ng gobyerno na involved sa public service. Lalong-lalo na sa mga local government units ng mga lugar na nasasakop ng aming prangkisa. Kung napapansin po ninyo, mas pinaigting pa namin ang pagsasagawa ng maintenance at upgrading work sa aming mga pasilidad para masiguro na kakayanin ng aming facility sakaling magkaroon ng mga malalakas na bagyo. Bukod dito, tuloy-tuloy din po ang aming inisyatiba sa wire clearing operations sa ilalim ng aming anti-urban blight program. At hindi rin tumitigil ang aming tree trimming activities para maiwasan ang mga posibleng aksidente dahil sa mga ulan o bagyo. Bago matapos itong digital explainer na ito mga kaliwanag at mga katribo, meron po akong iiwang mga tips para sa inyo. Una, dapat po ay updated tayo sa mga balita at alam natin kung anong mga paparating na bagyo sa ating lugar. Bago pa man tumama ang nasabing bagyo, siguraduhin naka-charge ang mga cellphone nyo, power banks at iba pang rechargeable na items at appliances, lalo na yung mga importante tulad ng electric fan at mga ilaw. I-ready na rin natin ang ating mga flashlights at mga kandila. Kung hindi natin maiwasang gamitin, make sure safe po tayo. Para kung magkaroon man ng power interruption dahil sa bagyo o malakas na ulan, ay may magagamit tayo agad. Mag-imbak din tayo ng sapat na pagkain at tubig sa bahay para handa tayo kung hindi pa man ligtas lumabas. Kapag naman pinasok ang ating bahay ng baha, siguraduhin nakapatay ang linya ng kuryente o ang main circuit breaker. Lumabas lang kung kailangan. Gumamit ng kapote, rubber boots kung lulusong sa baha bilang dagdag proteksyon sa aksidente at sa sakit. Dapat din tuyo ang mga kamay bago humawak ng anumang pasilidad ng kuryente. Pero kung hindi naman kailangan, wag na ho ninyong gawin. Tanggalin na rin sa pagkakasaksak ang mga kagamitang may kuryente. Kapag humupa na ang baha, para rin sa kaligtasan ng lahat, ipacheck po sana natin sa lisensyadong electrician ang mga saksakan at wiring sa bahay bago gamitin. At kung sa hindi inaasang pagkakataon, magkaroon ng mga power interruptions o power outages, paki-message nyo po kami sa official social media account ng Meralco o kaya tumawag sa aming hotline na makikita sa screen. Ilan lamang po ito sa aming munting paalala mula sa inyong Manong Joe. Hangad po namin ang kaligtasan ninyo anuman ang panahon. Maraming salamat po sa inyong oras at nawa ay nakatulong po ang inyong lingkod para magbigay linaw sa usaping ito dito sa Digital Explainer sa Daily Tribune.